So first thing you're going to do is you're going to come into the dashboard. This is where you're going to log into. You're going to come over here under your picture, your account name and everything, and click on settings. And then you're going to come here to custom domains. Now you can see that I've got one that's Building Wealth Daily. I've already got that domain set up. So I'm not going to reset one up, but I'm going to step you through exactly what you do. A lot of people, before they came here, they read the instructions and went into their domain and started setting things up. But what you have to do here is you have to go in here and say, add a domain first, add the domain. And once you add that domain, and you must put the www there. So it's got to be www. Whatever your domain is and so forth. And once you say save, it's going to pop up this box. And this is the most important thing that you have to have, because this is where you're going to get the information to put in to create the records in your GoDaddy account. Okay. So I'm going to leave that up right now, and I'm going to switch over here to GoDaddy. So this is my GoDaddy account. Once you log in, you can come over here to where your name is. And nobody calls me Ronald but my mother, and she's passed away. So I don't know why it says Ronald up there, but I'm going to go to products. And then I'm just going to go down here to Building Wealth Daily, and I'm going to click on DNS. Now, once you get here, you're gonna see some records. If you've just created this domain, you're not going to see a whole lot. You might see a www, and it's pointing to your domain name. This used to say buildingwealthdaily.com. The rest of these weren't really here. Okay, so pretend like they're not here, because I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do with that. So when you want to add a new record, you're just going to come up here and click on add a new record, and you're going to pick CNAME. Okay. And then you're going to put information in here and here. Now, where do I get that information? I'm going to go back to System.io on my dashboard. Okay. And I'm going to look at this first one. So it says in one spot, I'm going to put www. And then I'm going to put in the other spot, I'm going to put this. Okay. So if I go back to my DNS, all you have to do, you can assume that if it ever says .your domain name, you don't have to put that in there. Okay. All you have to do is put the part before that. So in this first part, I would put www. Okay. And then going back here, I'm going to just highlight this. You don't need the period. So just up to and then do either a Command or Control C to copy it. And then in this part here, I'm going to paste it. Okay. And then you would say save. Now, once you do that, I'm going to cancel that. It'll show up down here and look just like this. Okay. You'll have one CNAME that says www. Now, if you already have one that says www and it's got your domain name in it, then what I would recommend is go over here and hit the little pencil and post and paste this part into it, and then save it. Okay, that way you don't have to create a new one. But if you don't have a CNAME that has a portion that says www on it, then you got to create that from scratch. The second one you've got to create is this one here. And you're going to do the same thing. You're going to come back here. You're going to add new record. You're going to choose, and you could have done it right from here, added more records, and then saved them all once you got them done. Create CNAME. And in this area, you're going to go back here. And remember, we don't need the Building Wealth Daily. So I'm going to just copy from here to the F, right before the period. Command C that, come back over here, and either Command or Control V, or right click and paste. And I'm going to paste that in there. And then I'm going to come back to my dashboard. I'm going to grab all of this one. Okay, you don't need the period, but I'm going to grab all of this one. Command C. Paste this in here. And then hit save. Right? Now I'm going to cancel this because I've already done it. But I'm going to come down here, and you can see it's right here. The same exact information that was on this window that came up once you added your domain. If you read the article has got different information in here to put in. If you put that information in, it won't work. You've got to add your domain first, wait for it to come up with this. And if for some reason this doesn't come up, you can always hit show instructions and check it again. And then go back to your DNS manager on GoDaddy and make sure that you've got this one right and you've got this one right. Okay? Make sense? That's all there is to it. Once you've done that, this is going to say, instead of a check here, it's going to say pending. In fact, it won't even then it won't have a check, because what yours will look like is like this, and this will say pending up there. Okay, up here. Once it's, and then you can just refresh it. Now, I haven't had one take, when I did this one, it took probably less than 10 minutes for it to be ready. They say it can take up to 24 hours or whatever for it to propagate and everything, but I've never seen anybody last that long if they've done it correctly. Once it says ready to use, then you want to go to these three dots, you want to click on them, and you want to mark this domain as your default. That's all there is to it. Now, once you've done that, then you can go back to your funnel, and under funnels here, I can click on my funnels, and I can go up here to the funnel settings, and I can tell it that I want my domain. It'll come up default to the system IO. I can tell it I want Building Wealth Daily, boom, and that works. And now if I go to Building Wealth Daily.com, it's going to come up to my domain. Now, there's one other thing that you might want to do in your DNS management, and that's go down here to the bottom where it says forwarding. Okay, and I'm just going to get rid of this right now so I can show you. You're going to want to, you don't want to do the subdomain one. You're going to want to do the domain one. You're going to say add forwarding. And it's asking, where do you want to forward the domain name without the www? Okay, so you're going to put www.buildingwealthdaily, not dairy, daily.com, permanent 301, and hit save. Now, the reason you're doing that is because your main domain is just, in my case, buildingwealthdaily.com. But if you look at System IO, when we go back here, they had you put in www. So if you don't do that forward, when someone comes to your domain and types in buildingwealthdaily.com, it's going to say that that doesn't exist. But if you forward it to the www, then it'll go to the right place. Okay. So you want to make sure you do those two steps. One, add these CNAMEs, and the other is add the forwarding down here at the bottom. Okay. Once you've done that, then you can come here to a website called dnschecker.org. And all you're going to do is you're going to put in www.buildingwealthdaily or whatever your domain is. You're going to choose CNAME over here and then do a search. What you're looking for is just to all come up with check marks. You see it's saying that it is propagated all over the internet for you. Okay. Now, it may take a while for it to propagate. So you may get, I've never had it give me all red X's. And typically, unless I've done something wrong, but if I've done it all right and everything else, I may get one or two red X's and the rest green checks and things like that. But typically, like you can see here, I got a red X down here in New Zealand. Okay. So it hasn't propagated it in here yet. I'm okay with that. That's fine. And now you can see that it propagated. See, I just refreshed it, searched again, and now New Zealand has a check mark. So that means it's basically there's, oh, here we go. Islamabad in Pakistan. It's got a check mark. I bet if I do another search here, and yep, it's gone. So you can see that it takes a while for it to propagate throughout the internet. And that's okay. You just got to kind of wait for it to do its thing and check it out. Now you're done. That's all you need to do. And from that point, everything should work fine. You should be good to go. Then you can go back, like I showed you, into your funnel and say, okay, now I want these to do. And once you're in your funnel too, the other thing that you want to do is make sure that you name, like when you come to the squeeze page, it may have some gobbledygook letters and stuff here. What I did was I just got rid of these altogether because I wanted my main domain to come to my squeeze page. If I put something in there, let's say I put squeeze page in there. Now, if I go, and I'm going to clear these out here. Now, if I go to Building Wealth Daily and try to go to that page, it still goes to it right now because I haven't saved it. So let's save it. Okay. Now I'm going to save it, and now I'm just going to refresh this page. It gives me a 404 page saying it doesn't, it's going to the wrong place. But if I add squeeze page now to the end of it, it works fine, right? Well, I don't want people to have to worry about squeeze page and all those other things to get to the main page. I want them just to type in Building Wealth Daily. So I'm going to go back here. I'm going to get rid of this altogether. I'm going to hit save. And now if I refresh this one, I'll get the page not found kind of page. But if I get rid of the squeeze page and hit it, now I'm back to normal. Okay. And you're also going to want to go like for the VSL page or however you've created yours. Excuse me. I took the one that Jason Inman put together, really liked it. So I used that one as a template and so forth. But you're going to want to go through and change these / entries to whatever makes sense. Now, the one thing I would tell you is you don't want to make your thank you page, thank you, because then people will bypass ordering it and just intuitively say, I'm just going to go to the thank you page, right? So make it something, that they may not figure out. Okay. So that's basically it. I'm gonna as far as this part goes. So are there any questions? I'm going to keep sharing the screen, so if there's questions I can jump around. So any questions at all, Chuck, Amy, Jules? That makes sense. And what I did when I was go ahead, Chuck.
I was going to say, I think when I originally went through Zach's training, links over to GoDaddy, I think I was including the period, and because he didn't say don't disrupted, getting it, completed.
Yeah, what'll happen especially if you copy that whole thing, if we go back here to the instructions, if you copy like this whole thing here and this whole thing here, well, what GoDaddy does, it automatically adds .buildingwealth.com to it already. So this is going to say all of these gobbledygook numbers .buildingwealth.com twice, and it's not going to work right. Okay, so you've just got to take on this one here, you just use the www, and on this one here you just use up to the period. This one here, you can take the period on this one. It's not going to hurt anything because there's nothing after it. But on this one here, I would just not do it. I would just not use the period at all. And like I said, I came in here, I just came back every couple of minutes and then refreshed the screen. And then like it was definitely less than 30 minutes. It turned from pending to a check. Now, it may take a little bit longer. That may take an hour or two now, but typically it doesn't. Okay.
Well, at this point, because mine's almost been 24 hours of sitting there saying pending, do you suggest like I go back and delete what I like start all over again? Or is there a way to correct it?
No, I would start all over. Make sure don't delete it out of here, out of system, but bring these up, delete those two CNAMEs and re-put them in. Okay. Now you're saying yours is still saying pending, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, you might want to come over here to the three dots and actually remove it and start from scratch.
That's what I did.
Yeah.
That's what
I would just go ahead and delete it and start from scratch.
And
just
then
remember
the two CNAMEs and GoDaddy.
Yeah, go and to delete those CNAMEs. It's really easy. You're just going to come up here and let's say I needed to delete this CNAME here, and I wouldn't necessarily delete this one because all you got to do is edit it. But this one here, all you got to do is hit the trash can and delete it. Okay. Now, if anybody else have any questions about this?
I have a quick question, and mine seems to be working, so I don't want to touch anything. Mm-hmm. But on my info page, so now I've went through that. I finally got all my green checks and connected everything and checked it with the DNS checker. What you were just talking about with the
funnel?
Right. In System.io, I have nothing in it linked in my URL path from the squeeze page when you go to my website, my domain now. But the info page doesn't want to go over to it.
What's your domain name?
LegallyInkedSigningService.com.
Legally what?
Inked, INKED, signingservice.com. I'm probably going to change all that later because I'm actually doing this for my own business, but I started this to learn everything. But yes, LegallyInkedSigningService.com. But
you see how that didn't come up when I typed it in without the www? Did you see what happened there?
I didn't. I had you off my screen, but okay.
Okay. I originally just typed in your domain name. I didn't put www or anything there.
Uh-huh.
And it's going to work this time, obviously, because it already knows. But it couldn't find the page. Okay. Then I went back and I added the www and it came up. I would check and see if you've done this forwarding to the www. If you haven't done that, people are going to go to, because a lot of people I never type in www anymore.
Okay.
And if someone types that in, and if you put a link in there that says, legally inked signingservices.com without the www, and someone clicks on that link on your page, it's not going to go to the right place either. Okay.
So is this in my Cloudflare or is this in my System.io?
This is in GoDaddy.
Okay, so in Cloudflare for me.
Yeah, you're going to want to do a forward that just forwards your legally inked signingservice.com to the www.legallyinkedsigningservice.com. Okay.
Where do I do that?
I'm not I'd have to look. You're using Cloudflare.
Cloudflare. Mm-hmm.
That's where you registered the domain is in Cloudflare.
Yes.
I would have to look at it. I mean, I used Cloudflare years ago, but I haven't used it in quite a while.
Okay.
I'll see if I can find that for you, Jules, and send you something later today if possible.
Okay, and I'll look around in it
Yeah.
and see. Okay,
But
manage domain.
then in your paths, you're saying like the info page or whatever it might be. If you go through, well, here's a mistake I think some people are doing. One is you've got to change your domain up here. If you go into edit the page
Mm-hmm.
and go to settings here, you can go down to, where can you? No, I don't even think you can. So you've got to go to
Up
the
there. I
funnel
did.
settings
Mm-hmm.
and physically choose that domain. So yours should say www.legally signed signing service.
And then and what about that blank spot right there? So I have the URL path and right there. Do I put anything in there? Or
Well, I wouldn't put anything there on your squeeze page because you want it to go directly there. But that's up to you if you want to. If you've got okay. But on the rest of these, you definitely want to.
Okay.
If it's the info page or whatever, then put info in there.
Okay.
Okay. The only one that I would
see. It just connected. That's what's going to be after the /
exactly. So when these will track automatically, but if I go to, let's say I want to view the funnel, right? And I say, on this particular one, watch the free funnel, and I just put information in here, and I say, watch the free training. I don't have to tell it to go to the next step because it knows to go to the next step because of this order. If I change the order here, then it would go to the order page instead of the next step. But because it knows, because of that order, it'll automatically go to the VSL page, right? And then when I click get started today, it's automatically going to go to the order page. So it'll automatically, and you can see here, see this /order?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
If I go back here, here's /VSL. If I go to the order form, here's where I put order. Here's where I put VSL. And I don't care if someone jumps to the order page without going to it. Hey, that's great. But on the thank you page, you want to make that something that they may not find. Okay.
Right. Okay.
It's because you don't want them trying to cheat the system and get the information without going there.
Paying.
Without paying. Exactly.
Okay.
Okay. Makes sense?
Yes. Thank you.
All right. I'll go through one other thing real quick, just as the basics, because I had a challenge with this. Again, I use ActiveCampaign and that's already all set up, so I don't worry about it. But this isn't, and I wanted to go through it just in case people I brought on obviously are going to use probably most likely system.io, and I wanted to learn how to do it and everything. So for the mail, you come over here to mail settings, okay? And then you're going to pick your domain, right? And it's kind of the same thing. When I say click here, click on this, click here to authenticate, I'm going to put in my domain, but in this case, you don't put the www. So Jules, in yours, you would put, the
Legally inked.
Yeah, legally inked in there, and then save it. And then it's going to do the same thing. It's going to come up with this window, and you've got to put 3 of them in this time. And again, anything that's got your legally inked after it, you don't put that in there. So you're just going to put. And initially when I did this, I grabbed all of this.
I did. That's the problem. That's my mistake.
And it didn't work. And it wouldn't verify. And it wouldn't verify. And this morning, I told my wife, she knows my face. She's not technical at all. She's very artistic, but she knew my face this morning that something was not working right. So I finally watched the video and I heard the person say, "Oh yeah, and you don't take anything." And it's like, oh, exactly. So I went back and changed these 3 got rid of the ... on them. And then within 20 minutes, this thing came up and said verified. Okay. So that would be the first thing that I would do.
Okay.
And from there, that's all I know.
Okay. That helps. Okay. Perfect. Okay.
All right. Amy, any questions? Has this made some sense? Good, good. All right. Well, I hope I will get this recording up. We didn't have a lot of people today, but that's okay. It's Saturday before Mother's Day. I hope you two have an amazing Mother's Day. And you'll probably see my old face. As the months go on, I will start looking like Santa Claus. And people in the past have always known me as Papa Ron or Santa Ron. I shave because my wife, everybody in the family loves it when I have a beard, except for my wife. So I shaved it off for a while, and I look really thin now. So I'm gonna grow it back here in a couple of months, probably in the middle of summer or so. But I hope this has helped, and I guess I will see you on the next one.
Thank you.